Do you know the difference between a syntax error and a runtime error? Or how the finally block behaves when a return statement is involved? In this video, we will cover Python exception handling mastery, practice questions and detailed explanations. Master Python exception handling with this comprehensive practice set. In this video, we dive deep into Python exception handling with 30 high-quality practice questions designed to mimic real-world certification exams and technical interviews. We will cover everything from basic try-except blocks to custom exception classes and the standard library hierarchy. Before we start, make sure to grab a pen and paper to track your score. And don't forget to subscribe for more Python deep dives. Which of the following keywords is not a part of Python's built-in exception handling mechanism? Option A, try. Option B, except. Option C, catch. Option D, finally. The correct answer is C. In Python, the keyword used to handle an exception is except. Other languages like Java, C++, and C# use catch. But using catch in Python will result in a syntax error. The try block contains the code that might raise an error. The except block handles it, and finally executes code regardless of whether an exception occurred. What is the base class for all built-in exceptions in Python? Option A, exception. Option B, base exception. Option C, root exception. Option D, error. The correct answer is B. Base exception is the root class for all built-in exceptions. Exception is a subclass of base exception and is the base class for all non-system exiting exceptions, like value error, type error, system exit, keyboard interrupt, and generator exit inherit directly from base exception because they are usually not meant to be caught by application code. When is the else block in a try except else finally structure executed? Option A, always, just like the finally block. Option B, only when an exception occurs. Option C, only when no exception occurs in the try block. Option D, only if the except block fails to handle the error. The correct answer is C. The else block runs only if the code in the try block does not raise any exceptions. This is useful for code that should only run if the try block was successful, keeping the try block limited only to code that might actually fail. What is the correct syntax for catching multiple specific exceptions in a single except clause? Option A, except value error, type error. Option B, except value error, type error. Option C, except value error, type error. Option D, except value error, type error. The correct answer is B. To catch multiple exceptions in one block, you must provide them as a tuple enclosed in parentheses. Using except value error, type error was allowed in Python 2 but is a syntax error in Python 3. Square brackets or the pipe symbol are not valid for this purpose in standard Python except clauses. If a return statement is encountered in both the try block and the finally block, which value is returned? Option A, the value from the try block. Option B, the value from the finally block. Option C, both values as a tuple. Option D, a runtime error is raised. The correct answer is B. The finally block is guaranteed to execute before the function returns. If the finally block contains a return statement, it will override any previous return statement from the try or except blocks. This is a subtle but important behavior in Python's control flow. Which keyword is used to intentionally trigger an exception in Python? Option A, throw. Option B, trigger. Option C, raise. Option D, stop. The correct answer is C. The raise statement is used to signal that an exceptional condition has occurred. For example, raise value error, invalid input, single quote. Throw is used in languages like Java or C# but is not a keyword in Python. How do you define a custom exception class in Python? Option A, class myError, base. Option B, class myError, exception. Option C, def myError, exception. Option D, create myError as exception. The correct answer is B. Custom exceptions are created by defining a new class that inherits from the built-in exception class, or one of its subclasses. This allows the new class to be caught by except exception blocks and provides all the standard features of Python exceptions. In except value error is E, what does the E represent? Option A, the type of the exception. Option B, an instance of the exception class containing the error message. Option C, the line number where the error occurred. Option D, the memory address of the try block. The correct answer is B. The as keyword binds the caught exception instance to a variable name. In this case, E. This object typically contains the error message, accessible via str. E. and any arguments passed to the exception when it was raised. Which exception is raised when trying to access a key that does not exist in a dictionary? Option A, index error. Option B, lookup error. Option C, key error. Option D, value error. The correct answer is C. A key error is specifically raised when a dictionary key is not found, while index error is for sequences, like lists. When an index is out of range, key error is the standard for mapping types. Note that both key error and index error inherit from lookup error. Which exception is raised when a calculation exceeds the maximum limit for a numeric type? Option A, arithmetic error. Option B, floating point error. Option C, overflow error. Option D, limit error. The correct answer is C. Overflow error is raised when the result of an arithmetic operation is too large to be represented. This is common in older versions or with specific library-defined floating-point operations. Though Python integers handle arbitrary precision, some math operations can still trigger this. The with statement is often used as an alternative to try. Finally, for resource management, what methods must a class implement to support with? Option A, underscore underscore start underscore underscore and underscore underscore stop underscore underscore. Option B, underscore underscore open underscore underscore and underscore underscore close underscore underscore. Option C, underscore underscore enter underscore underscore and underscore underscore exit underscore underscore. Option D, underscore underscore try underscore underscore and underscore underscore finally underscore underscore. The correct answer is C. To be used as a context manager with the with statement, an object must implement the context management protocol, which consists of the underscore underscore enter underscore underscore method called at the start and the underscore underscore exit underscore underscore method called at the end, even if an exception occurred. What is the purpose of the raise from syntax in Python 3? Option A. To re-raise the same exception without modification. Option B. To implement exception chaining, indicating one exception caused another. Option C. To skip the finally block. Option D. To change the exception type without keeping the traceback. The correct answer is B. The raise new exception from original exception syntax allows for explicit exception chaining. It sets the underscore underscore cause underscore underscore attribute of the new exception, allowing developers to see the history of what went wrong while providing a more relevant, high-level error to the user. Which exception is raised when an assert statement fails? Option A. System error. Option B. Assertion error. Option C. Verification error. Option D. Attribute error. The correct answer is B. The assert statement checks a condition. If the condition is false, Python raises an assertion error. These are typically used for debugging and internal self-checks rather than handling user input errors. If you try to import a module that does not exist, which exception is raised? Option A. Import error. Option B. Module not found error. Option C. Library error. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. While import error was traditionally used, Python 3.6 introduced module not found error as a subclass of import error. It specifically indicates that the module could not be located at all. What happens if an exception occurs in a try block but there is no matching except block? Option A. The program ignores the error and continues. Option B. The program crashes and the exception propagates up to the caller. Option C. The else block is executed. Option D. Python automatically creates a generic except block. The correct answer is B. If no matching except block is found in the current function, the exception bubbles up to the calling function. If it isn't caught anywhere in the call stack, the Python interpreter prints a traceback and exits. True or false? A variable defined inside a try block is accessible in the except block if the exception occurred after the definition. Option A. True. Option B. False. Option C. Only if it is a global variable. Option D. Only if it is a numeric type. The correct answer is A. Python does not have block-level scope for try blocks. As long as the line of code that defined the variable was successfully executed before the exception was raised, the variable remains in the local scope and can be accessed in except, else, or finally blocks. Which exception is raised when an operation or function is applied to an object of inappropriate type? Option A. Value error. Option C. Type error. Option B, attribute error. Option D, name error. The correct answer is C. Type error is raised when an operation is performed on an object of the wrong type. E.g., adding a string to an integer. Value error is raised when the type is correct but the value is inappropriate. E.g., passing a negative number to a square root function. Which error occurs when a local or global name is not found? Option A, attribute error. Option B, name error. Option C, lookup error. Option D, key error. The correct answer is B. A name error is raised when the interpreter tries to resolve a name, variable, function, etc. that hasn't been defined in the current scope. Which exception is used by iterators to signal that there are no further items? Option A, of error. Option B, stop iteration. Option C, end iterator. Option D, generator exit. The correct answer is B. The stop iteration exception is a standard part of the iteration protocol. When the next function is called on an iterator and there are no more elements, the iterator raises stop iteration to notify loops, like for, to terminate. Why is it generally considered bad practice to use a bare except clause? Option A, it is slower than specific exceptions. Option B, it can catch unexpected system exiting signals like keyboard interrupt. Option C, it prevents the finally block from running. Option D, it only works for syntax errors. The correct answer is B. A bare except clause catches every exception, including system exit and keyboard interrupt. Ctrl+C. This makes it difficult to stop the program and hides bugs that you might not have intended to handle. Always catch specific exceptions whenever possible. Which attribute of an exception object contains the sequence of function calls that led to the error? Option A, underscore underscore cause underscore underscore. Option B, underscore underscore traceback underscore underscore. Option C, underscore underscore context underscore underscore. Option D, underscore underscore history underscore underscore. The correct answer is B. The underscore underscore traceback underscore underscore attribute holds the traceback object associated with the exception. In Python 3, this is automatically attached to the exception when it is raised, allowing for detailed debugging information. In Python 3.3+, which exception serves as the base for errors like file not found error and permission error? Option A, IO error. Option B, OS error. Option C, environment error. Option D, all of the above. The correct answer is B. In modern Python, IO error, environment error, and Windows error have been merged into OS error. File not found error and permission error are specific subclasses of OS error used for more granular error handling. Which exception is raised when the interpreter runs out of memory but might still be able to recover? Option A, memory error. Option B, system error. Option C, storage error. Option D, capacity error. The correct answer is A. Memory error is raised when an operation runs out of memory. This gives the programmer a chance to catch the error, clear up some objects, resources, and potentially continue execution. What error is raised when you try to access a method or property that does not exist on an object? Option A, method error. Option B, property error. Option C, attribute error. Option D, object error. The correct answer is C. Attribute error is raised when an attribute reference or assignment fails. For example, calling append on a string instead of a list will trigger an attribute error. Which exception is raised when the second argument of a division or modulo operation is 0? Option A, math error. Option B, zero division error. Option C, arithmetic error. Option D, division by zero exception. The correct answer is B. Python provides a specific exception for this mathematical impossibility called zero division error. It is a subclass of arithmetic error. If you have except exception followed by except value error, single quote, what happens when a value error occurs? Option A, both blocks execute. Option B, only the exception block executes. Option C, only the value error block executes. Option D, Python raises a syntax error during execution. The correct answer is B. Python checks except blocks from top to bottom and executes the first one that matches the exception. Since value error is a subclass of exception, except exception will match first and handle it. You should always order except blocks from most specific to most general. What does a bare raise statement with no arguments do inside an except block? Option A, raises a type error. Option B, clears the current exception. Option C, re-raises the last active exception in the current scope. Option D, restarts the try block. The correct answer is C. A bare raise is used inside an except block to rethrow the exception that was just caught. This is useful if you want to perform some logging or cleanup but still want the exception to propagate up to the caller. When a user presses Ctrl+C, which exception is raised? Option A, system exit. Option B, keyboard interrupt. Option C, break exception. Option D, process interrupt. The correct answer is B. Keyboard interrupt is raised when the user hits the interrupt key, usually Ctrl+C or delete. It inherits directly from base exception so that it isn't accidentally caught by except exception blocks. Which exception is raised when the maximum recursion depth is exceeded? Option A, recursion error. Option B, depth error. Option C, stack overflow error. Option D, infinite loop error. The correct answer is A. Recursion error is a subclass of runtime error. It is raised when the interpreter detects that the maximum recursion depth, usually 1000 by default, has been exceeded, preventing a total crash of the C stack. Which exception is raised when a Unicode-related encoding or decoding error occurs? Option A, encoding error. Option B, Unicode error. Option C, decoding error. Option D, string error. The correct answer is B. Unicode error is the base class for Unicode encode error, Unicode decode error, and Unicode translate error. It is a subclass of value error and is used whenever there is a problem converting strings to bytes, or vice versa. That wraps up our 30 practice questions on Python exception handling. How many did you get right? Let us know your score in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow developers. To continue mastering Python, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you're looking for a full-length timed mock exam to get certified, check out the comprehensive practice test link in the description below.